at that point, you're not there to play it safe. Like if you're not taking risks, you're not competing.
It's empowering, you know. I mean, anybody who's done a CrossFit workout, you finish your CrossFit workout and you're like, I'm on top of the world.
Yeah.
Like a hunger for competition and like that super intense structure, routine. I still had that desire.
Listen to the way people feel and the motivations for doing the things that they did. It was like they were describing me to a T.
I'm not trying to solve everything for you, but I know that sometimes you just need somebody to listen.
Learned the most is how to fill my cup by filling others.
Welcome to the Hungry Dog Barbell Podcast. Join me as I talk with passionate people about their life's failures and successes, and most importantly, what keeps them hungry for more. What up, dogs? Welcome back to another episode of the Hungry Dog Barbell Podcast. Today I'm joined by Johnna Dioniso. Did I crush that?
Crushed it.
Hell yeah. What up, Johnna? How you feeling today, dude?
What up? I'm fired up to be here. So excited. Feeling good.
Such a dope episode. Yo, where are you from in life? Where are you right now? It's like super nice and sunny looking out there.
So I am not from where I currently am sitting right now.
That's dope.
I am originally from Pueblo, Colorado. It's a small little town in Southern Colorado. And now I live in Southern California.
Hey, that's dope. All right. So we said we're going to talk about deep stuff. I have a question for you right off the bat. All right.
Jump in. Let's go.
Let's say you had superpowers. I mean, like you have superpowers right now. You're super rad, but like the ones that like you could fly, you can shoot laser beams, like shit like that. Like you low key can save people, right? Like tell me, how many dates with somebody would it take for you to tell them that you had superpowers? Like date 1, date 40, like how many?
Oh, I think I would surprise them. I wouldn't even tell them. I would just show them, right?
Pop
so
up.
Like maybe like date 10, like make it special, like so they remembered it. Yeah, I'd pop off at like date 10 and just show them. I would like, hey, we have to go somewhere, yada, 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 especially here in like SoCal. Say
I'm going to fly you there.
Exactly. I'm going to be like, oh, we got to go to Malibu real quick. And they'll be like, oh, it's like a 5-hour drive. Be like, nope. And we would just fly. Like I could totally fly. That would be my superpower.
That'd be ill. Would that be your superpower? Like be able to fly?
Fly. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel that. I don't, but like, dude, what about like being able to instantly transfer somewhere? Which one would you rather have?
The flying, because it's about the process, right? So
put that on a middle school wall somewhere. It's about the journey.
It's all about that journey, what you see on the way. Because like transporting is cool, but it's instant, and everything in our life is so instant, like in the moment, that I would want to like see. I want to see it. I want to see stuff. Right? I want to be a bird.
That's dope. Have you like always been like that? Have you like always been like a traveler and like wanting to see things?
Totally. 100%. My it's funny. Growing up, I would ask my dad, like, yo, where's mom? Like classic, a little kid, where's mom? Where's mom? And my dad's response was always, oh, she went to California really quick. Like random. Like, why would he say that? Right. And so in my head, I was like, California, California, California. Like, I want to go to California too, you know? And then so like now being here is kind of surreal, but I've always been a traveler. Like I think my first time on a plane, I was like 2 and I like vaguely remember, you know? So absolutely. Always just wanted to see the world for sure.
That's dope. 2. Do you remember where you were going that young?
Vegas, bro.
Hey.
First trip, they did it in. Yes.
Yo, that's crazy.
They were like, Vegas, we gotta go somewhere. And they were like, just come with us. So my aunt went, you know what I'm saying? Like I stayed in the room with somebody the whole time. But yeah. Vegas. Yeah.
It wasn't like you were balling on your 2-year-old budget out there in Vegas. That's still funny though.
Yeah, I wasn't pulling anybody yet too. So
that's great. So like the way that we met is through CrossFit and Barbells for Boobs. Have you always been like a sporty person? Did you like play sports growing up?
Yep. From the time I remember, basketball was my first love and just tried everything. Right. So like soccer, basketball, volleyball, softball. I wanted to play football, but my mom wouldn't let me. So she let me play hockey instead. Cause that's safer, right. She was like, more pads, blah, blah, blah. So I played hockey, dude, like literally everything. Like I tried dance. Like if it was a sport, I tried it. So, yeah, it was really, that set me up for kind of just being that athlete. And then out of high school, I got right into bodybuilding and then went into CrossFit. I feel like a lot of us have that little transition, right? Yeah. And that's how I found out about Barbells for Boobs. I was still in Colorado, actually, and one of the coaches at my box was like, hey, we're going to host an event in October. And I was like, oh, cool. I was like, my grandmother had breast cancer, so I'll definitely donate, right? That was the first of it, and then just like kept donating every year. And then I moved to Southern California And the gym that I started coaching at was actually one of the gyms that they would go to a lot. And so kind of just crazy, like you are where you're supposed to be type stuff. One of the past members was the first women in the program that we lost. And so it was her gym. And I had come in 2018 and she passed away in 2017. So like that just little bit, right? And so the founder, Zionna's sister, Charlene, she was coming to our gym to do like a hype up thing and was like, your event's in a couple weeks, like get excited, you know, tell your friends, tell your family. And then I asked her, hey, if you need any volunteers, because at that time, like I just moved here, wasn't coaching a lot, didn't have a lot of clients yet. And so I just started volunteering. So I literally would go to headquarters because it was like 20 minutes from where I lived at the time. And I was just so excited because I was like, this is so crazy. Like headquarters, you know, I remember like butterflies driving there the first time. It's so funny. And so, yeah. And I started volunteering. Like I would show up and just do whatever they needed me to do that day. So
yeah, that's awesome. And headquarters is like sounds like a super fly word, right? Like someone invites you out to the headquarters. You're like, ooh, guess what I'm going to do? You know,
literally. I remember that morning, like feeling so important. Yeah.
Fucking flies all over the place. Oh my God, it's killing me in here.
Nice.
Before that, were you like ever a person that got into like volunteering and like what would you want to do with your life, like besides travel and like play sports before you found Barbells for Boobs?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I was still coaching CrossFit and I knew from the time I was 17, I knew I was meant to help people in the gym. So my like best friend wanted to get in shape for our senior year of high school. And I was like, okay, yeah, you can work out with me. You know, I was like, come work out, come to the gym and let's like look at what you eat, you know? And at that time, like I had gotten into it because I had ankle surgery my junior year of high school. So that's how I originally started to dive into like health and fitness and nutrition and all these things. And so that was my first like, oh, like I can help people just by working out. Like I love working out and I can share that with other people and like I can get paid to do that. Like, say less. And I literally knew I wanted to be a personal trainer right away. And so that dove into group fitness and like that. I didn't really want, it's funny, I didn't want to do group fitness. Like I'm not a group fitness person per se, but that's all I do now. And it's so funny because like I got pushed into group fitness. It was like, oh my gosh, the teacher didn't show up. It was like Zumba class, right? It was like, the teacher didn't show up. Like, can you cover? I was like, sure. Like, it was just like, go.
Why do you think you're not a group fitness person?
From bodybuilding, like training alone, like doing all that and just like being like an athlete. For me, like group fitness is like a team sport. So I know that way, but to teach it, it's different. Right. And so like, to me, it's just, I want to coach or like I'm a boot camp style. So that's why CrossFit like works so well for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude, it's really been like, I want to help people through fitness. I want to like really show them that like it's fun and that it's not to be used as like punishment and that like it can be enjoyable. It can make you feel so good and that it's just so important for us. And so literally that's my calling for sure.
Hell yeah. Was the rest of your like family active growing up? Did you have any brothers and sisters?
My younger brother is definitely active. He played football. Really just football. Like he did a little bit of baseball, but he loved football. And then he also got into bodybuilding. So we connected with that. We would go hit the gym and stuff. And like my mom played basketball in college. And so she was really good. She was like a really, really good high school player. And so looking up to my mom for sure, like seeing all the newspaper clippings that she kept, you know, like that was definitely an inspiration. And my dad, not so much, but he was just such a hard worker. So like taking that plus that, like pushed me.
Yeah, plus that. Yeah, put it all together. That's sick. So, all right, next random question for you. Super, super random. Not very random because like I asked people this before. So let's say that like you had this like machine, right? It could give you one of two things. It can either allow you to travel like into the depths of space and like you can go like anywhere, or you can travel like as deep as possible into the ocean and like see all the things that people have never seen before. Which one are you going?
Ocean all day, dude. I literally yesterday was like, okay, don't get in the water today because it's like it dries my hair out, dries my skin out. And I literally, what was I doing? I was in the ocean. Like it's like water is just like it's just my energy. And so yeah, water all day. Space trips me out. Space is ready. Are you ready? Have you ever heard of this gong called the Chiron gong?
No, I've never heard of that.
Oh, look it up. Okay.
Chiron gong.
I went to this like sound bath meditation thing the other day. I'm getting into that, right? And this gong, it's called the Chiron. And it literally, as soon as it starts to play, I felt like I was in space and I freaked out. And I was like it just, put me like out there, dog. And I was like, calm down, calm down, calm down. I was like, it's okay, it's okay. And like,
wait, you went to a spot to meditate, and like they played this thing.
Yeah, they play like the sound bowls, right? Like the Tibetan sound bowls. They have like different ones for like different chakras. Bro, this Chiron gong. If you want to go to space, just listen.
Get that gong going.
That gong will get you there.
Yeah, that sounds super dope though. Oh my
cool.
God.
It was weird, but then too, like for sure the depths of the ocean. Like I know that freaks a lot of people out, but I would love to see that.
Yeah, that's always been my answer too. And it's mostly because like if we haven't discovered like 45% of our planet, we should figure that out before we go into space and try to like mess around with the peeps up there, you know?
I agree. Let them do their thing and we'll stay down here. Like we have a lot of work to do, y'all. Like,
facts. Yeah, you do you for a little bit longer. Like, that's not for us. But so you're going places like meditate. Like what brought that on? How long have you been doing that?
Ooh, yeah. So like for a long time, like without knowing it, exercise was a form of my meditation because it was the only time I didn't think about anything else, right? It was the calm, which is why I also love the ocean. Like I love a heavy ass barbell and I love the ocean because they're so violent, right? But they're also so calming to me.
Right.
So for me, like a lot of the meditation started like through working with Barbells for Boobs. Like it's heavy stuff. Like we listen to like a lot of stuff and we create this space for these women to come and just share whatever they need to share. So I have to take care of myself, right? Like I take all that in and I can't just stay with me. Like I got to get it somewhere.
Right.
So work my stuff. And so, yeah, just learning how to like sit and be quiet and be still because I'm not that person. I'm 100 miles per hour all day long, stoked. Like I'm the hype girl, right? So like I do need to have that balance of like stillness. So just finding that recently. And honestly, bro, my meditation in the morning is I take my sip of coffee, my first sip, and I like sit there for a minute and I think of whatever comes to my mind, like anything. And then I just like go about my day. So it's very simple. I think people overthink meditation, right? And it's just sitting still and just like being present with yourself. So just within the last couple of years.
A little bit of like intentional focus, you know, it's like that's all meditation can really be. Those moments where you can quiet your brain, but also have thoughts going on, but like don't allow them to like overlap you or immerse you too much, you know. I love that. Were you always like that when you first got to Barbells for Boobs? Did you know that like I'm going to need somewhere to go to kind of release this and move past these things that people put on me?
Honestly, no, because it was really thick within the pandemic and we had no idea what we were going to do. So like we were just kind of like going with it and it worked out really well. And now we have a total system set in place and like we figured it out, but no. And so I think it took a lot of like learning and experiencing like breakdowns, right? Like I would just be like at some points, like I can't handle this. Like this is a lot, right? I would get to those nights and I would just lay on the floor. Like I would just lay down and just be like, this is so emotional. Like where do I go with this? You know? And it was like, I need to talk to someone and, go through that like process of just letting it out. And so the daily little stuff has definitely helped instead of waiting for it to get to that point.
Yeah, so let it build up to that episode, you know, like we're just working on it every single day. So we talked about it a lot, but we didn't really give an introduction to Barbell for Boobs. I just thought about that. Like, so what is it? Where did it start from?
Okay, so it originally started because our founder, Johnna Hansen, we call her Z, ZEO. She has so many nicknames. Zopra, ZEO, puns, all this. She was sent an email by her best friend, Ceci Morales. And she was 26 at the time, Ceci was, and she was diagnosed with breast cancer. And Lee was like, wait, what? Like at first it was like, you emailed me this? You know, at first she was very like offended, like took it all personal. And Ceci was like, Z, this isn't about you. Like this is about me. And yeah, Z just had no experience with breast cancer. She had no relation. She had no knowledge about it because she was 29 at the time. So very young. And she organized a fundraiser because she was like, I just feel like I need to do something for my best friend. So at the time she owned a CrossFit gym and she was like, okay, well, Grace, 30 clean and jerks for time at 95 pounds was something that scared her. Like at that time, back in the day, 2009, like that was a heavy weight for girls back in the day, which is so now, right? So they threw down, they did like this little event. They went to a parking lot, busted out some barbells, got a speaker, did Heats of Grace and literally went to a bar afterwards, and someone was like, hey, we just did barbells for boobs. And they raised like $2,000, right? And so it was like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna can you write that down? You know, she wrote it down. She had no idea what she was gonna do with it yet. And so from there, like actually Greg Glassman at that time like found out about it and matched the donation, and so they had like a little more than 4,000. She went to go give it to Ceci, and Ceci declined it. She was like, I don't need financial support. Like, go find someone else, you know, pay it forward, pass it on. And Z was like, I don't know what to do with this money. Like, you know, and then it came to her. So as much as my calling is like to show people fun through fitness and just like really to coach them through that, Z's calling is definitely to be in the breast cancer world. Like, as dark as it is, she's like been pulled back in multiple times. So that was like back in, we just celebrated our 12th year anniversary in April. And so it's gone from everything, like the first 10 years really was like early detection and mammogram screenings. And we would help support women who were either too young, declined by their doctor, or no insurance, all that. So over that time, I believe we funded over like 53,000 mammograms. Like, we did a ton of work in that. And Z did so much with like so many organizations. And then after a couple years, like things with insurance started to pivot. And so it was like, okay, well, that's not necessarily needed anymore. And she started meeting all of these survivors all over these events, right? They did the Pink Bra tour, like they went to CrossFit KOP, like they did all of that. And through that, Z was meeting all these women, and it was like, oh, cool. Like, we're with early detection. And they're like, well, I already had breast cancer. And she's like, do you want a shirt? You know? And it was like, we weren't doing anything for the after. It was like, we were so pre, but it was like nothing post. And so Z started realizing like these women are struggling. Like, they're really, really struggling afterwards. And so she was like, well, you need to meet her, and like so-and-so needs. So she started this Facebook group so that they could connect all over the world. And, it kind of just bloomed into this, like, okay, cool. They need help after. And her sister, unfortunately, was diagnosed with stage 4, and she passed away in 2018. And so after that, well, Allison, I spoke about her. Allison passed away in 2017. And Z tells this story a lot. She went to her funeral and she walked in. And at this time, we didn't do what we do now at all. We were just kind of there for her. Z was there for her, right? She walked into her funeral and she had all her Barbells for Boobs stuff like draped over her casket, and her shirts were up there, her like lifters. And so that hit Z so hard, because it was like, wow, we're with these women till the day they die. And it was like, what even was more impactful was like, Allison's husband did those things, right? So he knew how meaningful it was to her. And so like that rocked her even harder. And then her sister passed away, Jenny Dean. And that was the ultimate, like, there needs to be more for the women who are after not receiving the care that they need, not receiving that resource. And it's like, so that's how the Resources After Diagnosis program was born, rad. And so again, then like the pandemic happened. So like Z had all these plans. She has so many good ideas, right? And so the pandemic happened, and all the gyms, I forgot to even say it too, like we did gym memberships. So we would fund scholarships so that women could still, you know, get the gift of fitness basically.
Oh, that's awesome.
But then all the gyms closed, and it was like, cool. Now what? Like,
big ass pause button.
Yeah. Everything we did was like done. And then it was even too like, cool. Well, if gyms are closed, how are we going to fundraise? Because that's how we function. Like we function as gyms host events and fundraise for us. And so it was like, we're not going to ask gyms to fundraise in 2020. Are you kidding me? So it was just this like, hold your breath and like, hang on. And so Z started coaching a live Zoom workout in her living room. And literally it's still around today. Like we still coach that class at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Monday through Thursdays. And that's where we are. And like, we've now come to the point where we serve 159 women. We had like an application where they would fill it out to be a part of the RAD program. It's totally free to them. They don't do anything. All they have to do is sign up. They come to like an orientation call now. Like we've figured out this system, right? They come and they do like an orientation. They come and do an introduction call if they're a new member. So we call our women in the program also athletes. We don't call them survivors. Unfortunately, we do have women who are stage 4, so they will not survive from this, right? They have that chance. And so we just call them athletes because they're all athletes, and that's what we do. We are athletes supporting athletes, and we really just want to improve the quality of their life through community, health, and fitness. And so those are our 3 like main pillars that we we support them through the community, letting them know you're never alone, right? They need that support from each other. And it's really after all their shit's over, like they'll go through their treatment and everyone's like, oh, congratulations. Like you did so good. You're so strong. I'm so proud of you. And like inside they're kind of like, well, what choice did I have? And it's like, they're not going to say these things to their friends and their family, but then like after a year or so, they're like still struggling and they don't know where to go. And that's kind of where we are. And so that's like the community piece. And then health is like their overall health and well-being. And so we have a really, really cool team of like doctors and badass women that we've like collected and brought together. And so they're really trying to see what the future of RAD can be. And then fitness is the gym. So we have like our RAD box. So basically our global gym, because we have women all over the world. We're in like 6 different countries. So
that's awesome. That's amazing. 6 countries too. What was I just going to say? Are you guys still doing like gym tours? You still going out and seeing places?
We did last year. Yeah. Z and I did a mini tour / not tour. And it was intense, bro. Like we were gone for like 13 days on the road, different gym every day. And we basically ended up with COVID and we're just done, dude, like trashed. So I don't know what's going to happen this year. We have like events. We're still doing like, we're still doing New York. We'll kick it off in New York on 5th Avenue at Puma, because that's one of our main partners. And so they're legit. We'll do Grace in the Puma store again, which is going to be so cool. And then after that, we have like a couple events. We have a couple stops, but I don't know if we're going to go as hard this year.
Yeah,
we went out hard, bro.
13 different gyms. That's crazy.
It was nuts.
Yo, have you always been like this like big social person? Like you call yourself the hype girl. Like, have you always been that?
Always, bro. Literally, like, I don't know. Well, I think honestly, I can think back to like daycare. Like I remember being in daycare, like 6 years old, and just being like the energy. Like I've always been that. And it's funny because like I have a question for you. If you could be an animal, if you could pick an animal that portrays your energy, right? Like I'll give you my 2, like not even 3 really, like 2 or 3, and then what yours are. So like if I was a monkey, like energy, I'm a monkey, a hummingbird, and a butterfly, like all in one, bro.
Oh,
like
the hummingbird, yo.
Hummingbirds are like my everything, and then butterflies like are calm, but still just like all over the place. So like those are my 3 animals, the energy that I like embody. So like what's yours? What's your like?
I mean, I think I would go with the dog, man. The hungry dog.
I love it.
Like it can be chill, fierce but loyal.
Look at that. Yes.
Yeah, that's dope right there.
This is ready. I'll show you. I'm a big dog gal. I'm a dog sitter and
that's what I'm saying. Just chilling,
Charlie and
chilling, holding you down.
Yeah. Charlie can definitely be crazy loco, but then most of the time he's just like that. So, okay, I'll appreciate that. Someone told me I have super big golden retriever vibes the other day.
Golden retriever vibes, yes.
I was like, yes. I was like, that's the best compliment I've ever received. So, yeah, I've always been the hype. I've always been the energy. My babysitter, my like daycare lady, told my mom a long time ago when I was like, going off the walls, bouncing off the walls, whatever we say about kids, right? And my mom was like, I just don't know how to like calm her down. And my babysitter, Miss Debbie, shout out to Miss Debbie, wherever you are. She looked at my mom and she said, don't break her spirit. Like, don't tame her. Like, let her just be her. And my mom literally that day, she like said she threw up her hands and was like, all right, cool. And just like, let me be me. Like, didn't try to like say, because I feel like that's like, that happens to a lot of kids, like people always try to calm them down and like, don't do this, don't do that, stop doing this, stop doing that. And my mom, within reason, obviously she didn't like let me set the house on fire, but I was able to just like be my little hummingbird self.
Yeah. If you know who Edu Portal is, he's got this saying, it's like, let them dirty the walls. Like talking about like kids learning how to do handstand stuff, going upside down and just being wild, and that's always been one of my favorite quotes. Let them dirty the walls.
You could always clean the walls, dog. You could always clean the walls.
Right. Kids are making memories. Like, let the walls get dirty. It's fine. I mean, I'd be a little bit different when I have kids right around my own house, but no, I'm still gonna rock with that.
I'll send you some sponges to clean them walls.
Yeah. Yo, so how many tattoos do you have? And like, how long have you been getting tattoos? Yo, that's like a super interesting topic. I love to like hear people's tattoo stories.
I love this. Okay. So it's funny. For a long time, I was like, I don't really want tattoos. I don't know. And I just feel like with experience, right. And with things that happen. So my very first one, you can't even see it. I got into a gnarly car accident, bro. Like gnarly. I definitely have had my fair share of like close to death experiences. And so I feel like I'm on like life number 5 right now. Legit. Like I've lived a couple lives. And so I got a white ink tattoo of just a cross, like a very simple cross, right? To like just remember like, yo, like don't waste your life. And I feel like I really did like make some deep changes right after that. And so that was the first one. And it was more so just for myself as a reminder, right? It lasted legit, no lie, 2 weeks. Like literally. And then like after that, it
like
was
melted off.
It was literally gone. And I think it's funny because I think I washed it off. Like, I'm not kidding. I washed it so much because I like didn't know. It was my first one. I was, can't let it get infected. Like, no, I'm pretty sure I washed it off. And it was just on my wrist right here. Right. So a reminder for myself, whatever. Then like a couple years later, I was like, maybe I like want another tattoo. And I had a personal training client who was a tattoo artist, head to toe, bro, face, everything. And no one would talk to him in the gym because, like, I mean, he's intimidating a little bit, right? Yeah. I was the only one that would walk up and be like, "Hey, how's it going?" And he like didn't know how to take. He's like, "Why are you talking to me?" I was like, "Cause you're a human." Like, what do you mean? So then him and I got close, and like he's a dope guy. And so he was doing like a tattoo special, right? And he was like, "You should come get like a little one. Like, let me just like, of course, like coaxing me into it, right?" And I'm like, I don't know what I want. One of my other clients got me this bracelet from Rome. It was like straight from the Vatican. I grew up Catholic, and so I was like, "Oh, cool! I like history, dude. I love history, love all that stuff." So she got me this bracelet, and it had like a wooden cross. It's called an Italian Tau. So also a funny story. I thought I was Italian growing up. Dioniso, you would think, right? Nope. Did one of those DNA tests. I'm 4% Italian, bro.
Wow.
4. So, okay. At this time though, I think I'm all Italian, right? I have this bracelet. It's really pretty. It's like hand painted. It's this like wooden cross. And I wore it for a couple days and I was like, I don't want to wear this. I don't want it to break. I don't want anything to happen to it, right?
Thanks.
Went to like take it off and it scratched me. And like, you get those little paper cuts and they like bleed like crazy. Yeah. Same. It like bled all day long, like bled through Band-Aids, dude, like would not stop bleeding. And it was like on a vein. I was like, do I need to go to the doctor? I was like,
it's a wrap for me.
Really like bleeding and burning. I was like, oh my God, all my sins, I was like, what is going on? I was like, what is this bracelet? I was like, what did she bring to me? And so literally the next day, bro, I woke up and it was completely scarred over, healed, everything. I was like, okay, that's weird. So literally the next day, the guy was like, hey, come in and get your tattoos. We're doing specials. And I was like, you know what? I was like, I don't even know what I want. And I looked down at that scar and I was like, I know what I'm going to
tattoo it up.
That's literally what I got. And he was like, what? And I told him, okay. He was like, that makes sense. So that was my second one. Then I got the dog paws because again, I just love dogs. Like if I wasn't doing what I'm doing right now, I would probably be within like a dog rescue or like I've always wanted like a dog shelter, or some type of dog vibe. So dog paws, pretty self-explanatory. I have this that you can't really tell because it's my mom's handwriting, but it says just be. So like just be in the moment, just be present, like that reminder of like you are where your feet are, right? So like just be here. So that's just a very simple one. I try to stay in the present moment. And then I just got one like 4 weeks ago. It's right here like on my like sternum kind of area, and it's my air element sign. So it's a triangle with a line through it. So it's a reminder just to like, because right now I'm so I guess free is the word. I'm all over the place as far as just like where I go, because I do travel a whole lot. Like I like house sit a ton, and so I don't really have a spot, right? So it's my reminder, like I am home wherever I am, because I can center myself and I can really find myself. Like wherever I go, there's a piece of home within myself. So it's just my air sign, again, very like who I am to my core. And so it's like in the center of my body, and it's also like right by my lungs. And so it's very much so like just breathe and just be and just like live simply, kind of. That's like the reminder of that. So
that's so dope.
Yeah, but I want a bunch more. I want a hummingbird. I want a beetle.
Get the spirit animal going on.
Totally. Yeah. You? How many do you have?
I have 7 tattoos now. I got like all of them within like a 2-year span, which is funny. Like before I had to really start paying bills and shit. Right. My first one was 2 of my buddies died our first year out of high school. So I got "We Are Not Invincible" with their initials underneath my chest. Like it's the same thing, reminder of like what it says, we are not invincible. It's like that was the first time that I realized, like, oh shit, like all that we just did was easy, like high school, being an adolescent and all that stuff. Like, oh, it was sweet, like it's life's actually about to start now, when those 2 dudes died. I always talk about it with people now and they don't get it. Like if they don't really have a lot of tattoos, like all my tattoos are meaningful. I wish I had like some like kind of whatever tattoos. Like I wish I had like Patrick the Star tattooed somewhere, like a toaster or something like that. Like my one buddy, his name's Carl. He's covered head to toe and he gets a tattoo like every 3 weeks because he's super close to this tattoo person. And it's like just anything now, so that they're all not like huge stories. It could be cool, but you were talking about, you did the DNA test. I did one before too, but like, how do you feel? What's your opinion on this? I think that they're cloning us right now with our DNA that they took from us. And there's like a double, maybe a triple of us all out there.
Okay. So I've super skeptical at first, because I was like, oh, whatever. And the only reason I did it was a gift. I didn't buy that shit on my own, right? And I was even hesitant to do it then because same, like my brother was like, oh, I'm not doing that, because after I did it, I was like, do it. He's like, no, fuck that. He was like, they're gonna clone us. They're gonna
clone you. They're gonna clone.
Like, I don't care. Some people are like, oh, I don't want you to have my data. I don't care about my data. Y'all have.
I don't care about that either.
Y'all know more than anything. Like y'all know crazy stuff, right? But
like when everyone was saying the thing about like the privacy and your location on Instagram, I was like, dog, they know where you are. Like there's cameras in the lights when you're driving, bro.
Yeah, there's literally, we're all being tracked. Like, you know what I mean? Like
cool.
all
like,
of that.
Whatever,
Right. But the DNA is yeah, I could see that happening 100%. Yeah.
It's like Jordan Poole has that movie about the clones like underneath the earth and shit like that. That's what's happening. There's a you out there. There's a John out there right now. And me. I did it too.
That's crazy. That's so crazy. But I believe it. I so believe it.
All right. So if there's a clone, right? Maybe we could possibly be the clone. Are you the evil or the good clone?
Oh, I'm the good for sure.
You're the good one. I don't know. I might be the evil. Like I'm doing some good stuff, but then low key on the same time.
Dude, okay, ready? Let's go there. Let's go clones. Let's go doppelgangers. Let's go all that. So like, do you like, I believe we're all one. Like we're all one. Like we're all like, we're cut from the same. Like at the end of the day, like we're all just in this together. And like,
you can only come from so much, like
that's what I'm saying. Like, and so there's too many similarities of like everybody and all that shit. And like, if we really go back to it, right? Like, okay, so do you think there's one person in this world who is literally you, like another you? Like, do you
like a doppelganger, like outside of a clone that was already born? It's like me. Well, being like a 5'10", bald-headed brown man, there's a lot of people out there that look like me. I've seen some though, and I'm like, yo, like me and my brother are like almost twins. He's just a lot taller than me, but like, and I'm like, so the DNA thing, there's like family out there that I don't know. There's probably like, there's got to be someone out there, like even if they're on the other side of the world, that like doesn't just resemble me, like could be me. I'm talking about like their voice probably sounds like mine, like they might even have like the same sleeping patterns as me, like it's not like there's how many differences could there be from person to person,
I mean, a lot. Like that's what I'm saying. When you think about it, there could be a lot, but there's so many of us, bro. I looked at, we're almost worldwide population. We're almost at 8 billion.
It's crazy. That's way too many people.
That's so many people. That's so many fucking people.
So on that topic, right? Like I'm sitting in this little kid's room right now across the King of Prussia. Like this, it really means a lot to me, right? This gym, what we do here, CrossFit as a whole, all that shit. So this is like my world, right? Yep. And then I'm looking out this window and you just said there's 8 billion people out there. And I'm like outside of this window, like there's 8 billion people. And like, do you ever like get like sketched out at like the expansiveness of everything, like how much there is out in the world?
Yes, dude. I look out this window and see the ocean, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'll stare at the ocean sometimes. And same thing as what we said, like, we don't even know. There's so many of us here on this earth, and we don't even know really our earth, right? Like, we're not even fully aware of what we're doing, and we're just day to day, just driving around, going to work, like doing just
on
this,
Zoom calls and shit.
on Zoom calls, like
oh, man.
it's 100% mind blowing. And I think about it all the time. I think about it. I think about the weight of the world, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah. That's in like a movie or something like that. I forget which one. They talk about like the weight of if like the core shifted, the weight that would like slam down on the other side of the world. It's nuts. Dude, so question, right? Let's talk about like futuristic apocalyptic type times, right? If there was a breed of animal that you would think would take over the world, you would think it would be like animals that swim in the ocean, maybe they come on land, animals that fly, or like animals that like walk on the planet? And like if you have a specific animal, tell me what it is.
Oh, I mean, right away first, I was like, they'd have to be like 4% cockroach, because those motherfuckers don't die at all.
Ever.
Ooh, wow. Okay, I'm gonna combine all of it. I mean, to take over the world, you would have to be able to cover the water. It would have to be able to be in water, so it would have to have gills, right?
Right.
So gills, and then like, I don't think it would have to fly. Maybe just run really fast, and then just like, yeah, be really, really like big. Like I'm picturing like dinosaur type shit, but like,
like a dinosaur type fish,
like a whale with feet,
right?
Like, what would you? Well, I don't know.
See, me, dude, I think that it would be some type of like giant eagle or falcon, like Planet of the Apes style movie. But like, really, what would happen is like the eagles would get super smart and then just like run shit and have like some big land-based predator as like their muscle. You know, like how
they would, like dictator type shit.
Yeah, you know, like how like the chimps were the smart ones in the Planet of the Apes, but then they had the gorillas as their homies and shit. I think that's what would happen, because like, what changes warfare, yo? The power of fucking flight. So
no, you're right. You're right.
Yo, I'd be getting wild to think about wild shit.
I think about this stuff all the time. That's crazy. Okay. Yeah, that Planet of the Apes shit. I think that's so real though. Like,
yo, when they made the new John with Homeboy, you know, he got the cute little was it one of the Franco brothers, James Franco? That one was ill. Yeah, those were crazy, man. That shit was nuts. I'm like, that's really what's gonna happen to us. Like,
do you think? Okay, ready? Question. Movies and shit, like, do you think they know shit that's like, because movies they've been true, dog.
They be telling us shit to the movie.
They know. You can't tell me somebody doesn't know already. Like deja vu, like that's a glitch in like time. Like, let's go deep as far as like the concept of time, right? Like, we follow this clock, we like wait for this calendar bullshit. Like, it's so. And it just happens again and again and again.
Nah, that's why Hollywood and like the politics government be beefing and shit, because like they be knowing shit and they be telling us through the movies, and then the government be getting mad at them like, yo, you telling them too much right now.
Right,
like that Avengers movie where half the universe disappeared happened right before COVID happened, and then a whole bunch of people just died and shit, and now we just back to supposedly normal. Nah, it's some different.
They're getting different emails than us. Like,
they get different facts. They get different FaceTimes than us. Yes,
100. They're on different Zoom calls than us right now.
Yo, oh my god! All right, before we get too deep, because they're gonna cancel us if they hear us talk about this and shit.
I was gonna say we're gonna get unrated on the air right now.
Yo, we're like, it's a wrap for us. I'm gonna leave that in though. So what's up? What's next for you? What are you hungry for?
Oof, it's funny. I've been kicking around like I can't imagine doing anything else in my life. And it's funny, I thought I wanted to own a gym for a long time. That was kind of a goal before Barbells for Boobs. And then really just like being in it, like I saw so many of my gym owners and my bosses really just like lose that spark and lose that fire. And I was like, nah, fuck that, man. I was like, I'm not trying. The only reason why I would want to own a gym was to help more people. But I'm like, nah, the coach, this, like the coach is the one that truly, truly gets in there. And like, I never want to step out of that role at any capacity. Like I always want to be coaching, even if it's one CrossFit class a week, you know what I'm saying? Like minimum, like helping somebody some way, somehow through fitness. And so I always will do that. And the gym owner thing, like, I feel like Z does a fantastic job at letting me be me. And like, I run the gym, you know, and it's like, it's cool because I feel like I do have my own gym of badass women who just so happen to be diagnosed with breast cancer. So at this point in my life, honestly, right now, I'm living undreamt dreams. Like I've done so much cool shit that I never even dreamt was possible. I'm really just kind of like living the dream. Like that quote of like living the dream, I finally understand what that means, but even to a deeper level of living undreamt dreams and having those things come true. And so I kind of am just like riding it, bro. Like I'm good. Like I say this all the time, like I'm ready to die. Like, you know what I mean? Like I have reached that point in my life. Like I'm super just like, if I go, I go. Like I'm happy. Like I'm just ready for anything, and anything that happens to me now is amazing because it's stuff that I, again, never ever dreamt of. So that's a like to be determined. Like we'll see what happens, but I just absolutely love being able to work with women that are in this space and truly change their life. Like that's like, I'm just here to change lives, bro.
Oh yeah. That's so deep, man. Like getting to that point where you're like, I'm doing the things that I love doing, you know?
That's it.
That's amazing. Well, Johnna, this has been an awesome episode. This could be definitely a contender for next year's top 10 list, man. It's been so much fun to just talk shit and get a little talk some more shit, man.
I love it. I appreciate you, dog. This was great.
Dogs, we about to get out of here. It's been another great one. Peace. Hit that one.